the state of gaming has some hope on the horizon. Pun intended for one of the topics we're going to be talking about. But first up, Thor, or God of War, Ragnarok with Thor right here. We talked about this last week, but
so this is a bit of a misprint on our side a little bit.
Oh,
God of War Ragnarok is not on PC.
Huh?
God of War is on PC.
God of War.
The one Ragnarok hasn't come out yet. That comes out later on this year.
Let me throw this up here. Spoiler banners, spoiler banners, spoiler banners. Yeah,
I didn't notice that. I just read the note and I was like,
it's on me.
Yeah,
I should have trusted more, or trusted less, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is coming out eventually. Not right now. Thanks. I really hope someone that we know is watching this, and I will not blames, but we're going to skip right ahead. So coming soon to PC is going to be God of War Ragnarok.
Who knows if it's coming to PC?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, we're moving right along. But for at least for February, we got a lot of stuff coming up. You know, we've got, I'm just going to read the quick list here. Thank you, Matt, once again for the show notes. Our man in the chair. The first one, Life is Strange Remastered Collection. The next one, The Waylanders, Dying Light 2, OlliOlliWorld, Sifu, Crossfire X, Know by Heart, Lost Ark, Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, which, by the way, I think the last time I played as Dynasty Warriors was Dynasty Warriors 3. The King of Fighters.
PS2.
Yeah, bro. The King of Fighters 15. We've got Total War Warhammer 3. Horizon Forbidden West. Destiny 2. The Witch Queen, which I know you're going to have a lot of opinions on. Monarch. Martha is Dead, which, by the way, if Clark or Bruce had anything to say about it, Martha would not be dead. Elden Ring. Grid Legends. Blood Bowl 3. And then Evil Dead the Game, which is not on our list tonight, but I do want to bring up the fact that Evil Dead had a little tribute this week, but we'll get to there when we get to it. So first things first, on our list here is OlliOlliWorld. I actually I really put this on the list here, Don, because let me get to it, right? Bam. Because just this wallpaper in itself made me think of so many Cartoon Network shows right now. I really love the visual style of it. But the game itself is a 2D platforming skateboarding game. The game takes place in Radlandia, which sounds awesome, where the player can interact with the game's characters and take on side quests. To get high scores, the player is required to chain together tricks in order to get combos. Sounds very familiar to any other skateboarding or X Games-like game. The player can ride walls and grind on rails, increase their score. OlliOlliWorld introduces elements new to the franchise, such as quarter pipes and branching paths. The game has a hand-drawn art style, in contrast to the pixel art of previous entries. It looks awesome. It just looks like a fucking great time, if I'm being truly honest.
Yeah, I played, so there was an OlliOlli that came out a couple of years back, or a fair amount of years back at this point that I played, and I really enjoyed it.
It's definitely, to me, kind of hits a little bit more younger in scales or in the age of gaming kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just looks like fun, man. I wanted to make sure we don't alienate the gamers that are into that kind of thing, like Animal Crossing, right? I don't really talk about it enough because I don't play it enough, and that's not fair to everybody else that does tune in. I heard a joke today. It was like, man, my kids are really into Animal Crossing, and it's really entertaining when I hear them say, I really got to figure out how to pay off my house in Animal Crossing. And then my brain's like, maybe you could also figure out how to pay off our house in real life. So that'd be great. And I was like, yes, this is our new economics class for the next generation is Animal Crossing.
Dude. It kind of is. I mean, shit. Tom Nook is a goddamn loan shark. Pay your bills on time, yo.
I really got some joy out of that. Shout out to Frank. If you do ever listen to this show, maybe you'll hear it and you'll appreciate it. Next up on our little game list here, Sifu. This is
another one. Fucking cool.
Dude, this shit looks dope. This looks dope. A kung fu student sets out to fulfill a lifelong vendetta, hunt down and defeat the 5 assassins who brutally murdered his family. The game is set in a modern Chinese city and is mostly grounded in reality, though magic exists in the world as the protagonist possesses a magical talisman that revives him whenever he suffers a fatal injury in combat, with the downside being that he ages a specific number of years, with each resurrection, and will eventually die once the talisman's magic is used up. This is such a great,
Yeah, it's like a roguelike, but kind of not.
Yeah.
It's cool. The gameplay looks cool as shit. I love martial arts
It's
style
a
games.
neat...
And
Plus, it's a neat mechanism for the life meter trope, instead of getting 3 or 4 hearts, your character visually ages.
Right.
Which is, if you see any of the, the concept art or any of the promotional art for this game, you'd be like, okay, there must be 2 different characters. There must be a younger character and an older character. No, they're the same person. They're just somebody's not as good as living as the other one is, So, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I will more than likely end up playing this game a lot sooner than any game on PlayStation because it supposedly is coming out on PC. I say supposedly, I'm going to hedge with supposedly every time I say PC for the rest of the episode after the very first topic of the state of gaming. And now I think I'll forever and always... Mike. No, I can't blame Mike. No, it's not his fault. We trusted somebody.
No, it's not.
You know?
We did.
It's not him. Hey, yo. Not his fault. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo. Shout out Mahaffey. Next up, though. This game it's a sequel, yeah? Again, we've talked about this 15 times, but every time we talk about
Forbidden West.
I'll worry about it when we get to it. And then it's guess what? It's next month.
We're getting to it.
Yeah, we finally got to it.
This game snuck up on me. I had no idea. I forgot it was coming out next month. I was like, oh, this is coming out in December of 2022. And they're like, nope, it's coming out in February. And I'm like, oh, shit, really? That quick?
I honestly, every time I see this game, I think it's only going to be released during a warm month. It doesn't compute in my brain that right around Valentine's Day there's going to be a game release that's clearly taking place in a tropical environment.
Right.
Maybe it's the little last bastion to get you through your seasonal depression. Maybe that's what's happening. But Horizon Forbidden West continues the story of Aloy, a young huntress of the Nora tribe, as she leads a band of companions on a quest to the arcane frontier known as the Forbidden West, to find the source of a mysterious plague that kills all it infects. That's a long first sentence. On her journey across these uncharted lands, Aloy encounters new and unfamiliar regions ravaged by massive storms and deadly machines, and comes into conflict with an army of nomadic raiders who have managed to tame the machines for use as war mounts. She also discovers a vast array of environments and ecosystems, including lush valleys, dry deserts, snowy mountains. Oh, there we go, snow. I got you. Maybe that's the first place she encounters, right next to the beach. And tropical beaches and ruined cities both above and below the water. So at least you can tell just by that list of environments, you've at least got several different stages of the game. It's not going to be something that hopefully somebody beats in 10 hours.
No, the first one was super long. I really want to play the first one, and I've tried it a few times, and I got into it a little bit, and I think stuff just came out. It was the most beautiful looking game on PlayStation 4 for a long time.
Really?
It was light years ahead of everything else.
That's a big proclamation.
And it's really well done. The crafting system for the weapons and armor and everything is really cool. The environments are really cool. It did feel a little empty just because it's another one of those post-apocalyptic games where you're kind of in the future or whatever. But it was a ton of fun. I want to play it. The new one looks really cool. So was it CES, Consumer Electronics Show, was just the last 2 weeks?
I feel like Sony, it was. I saw the new.
So
it was.
Sony,
You're right.
Sony unveiled VR2. Well, they already unveiled VR2 before, but they announced a companion game to this game that is going to be premiering in VR that everybody's super hyped about, and I can't remember the name of it.
No shit.
But it's a Horizon game. I honestly forgot about it until you mentioned Horizon today, and I was like, oh, yeah. But Horizon Forbidden West looks dope. It looks really cool. I'm excited.
Mahaffey is proudly defending himself respectfully, saying that he could not find anything that said it wasn't coming out on PC, so he thought he missed something. You know what? I like that. We're going to err on the side of everything comes out on PC. PC Master Race.
Right.
But he did say he put 5 hours into Horizon before he dropped off that game, and he basically said it's another Witcher 3 for him, which is...
Yep. That's the easiest way to put it. I want to play Witcher 3 so bad. I want to love that game. And
You want to.
I just don't give a shit about the game. It's just like Bloodborne, Dark Souls. I'm sure Elden Ring, when that comes out. Like
5 hours in.
Yeah, I'm 5 hours in. I guarantee I'll spend less than 5 hours in Elden Ring before I'm like, nah, this isn't for me.
Yeah. I think it's one of those, like, you have to really, truly love or identify with the character and landscape to really appreciate it and go through it. But hopefully that's not the case for this game, because it clearly has been, like, coming around for such a long time that even I feel like it's funny. I heard the announcement this week that the PlayStation 4 is going to be continued to be made. Because it's their most popular selling console yet for PlayStation. Xbox One, however, that series is donezo. Microsoft is not producing anymore. Bye-bye Dodo Bird. Which I'm kind of 50-50 on that split, you know, like, oh, keep PlayStation 4 going. It's like, well, if the silicone and the resources are that hard to get, don't blow it
Why
on the old versions.
Why are you going to make PlayStation 4s? Like,
yeah, whereas, you know, if we're going on the Microsoft side, they're like, yeah, we're donezo with that.
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense.
Like, it doesn't make any sense because, like, they're not putting out PlayStation 4 games. They're putting out PlayStation 5 games.
Right.
Whereas Xbox could continue making the Xbox One because every game that's coming out is for both.
Yep.
So it's not, like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll never
understand it.
There's got to be a dollar point somewhere that somebody's figured out. They're just not going to tell us anytime soon. The next up, though, I think this is more like one I think you want to sink your teeth into, and I welcome the shit out of it because
this is a Dom Irvin special for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, if you want me to read the plot synopsis, I'm looking at the size of this thing. It's massive. There's many buzzwords.
You don't need to do that. We don't absolutely need to do that. I'll summarize this bitch for you right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the words in here, and several of them have like umlauts or accents or chevrons like in the middle of them. I can't even. I'm not gonna butcher this. I'm not gonna do it.
Essentially, okay. Here's the like 5-second story to this.
Hit me with it. I would love to hear any of these words pronounced properly from you.
Oh, I got you. All right. In Destiny 1, you fought a dude named Oryx. Okay. Oryx was a hive god.
Oh, that was the easy one. So it was 4 letters. Right. I can get the guy that one.
Oryx has 2 sisters, Zavathun and Zebu Arath.
Yeah, I would have fucked those up.
Zavathun has been a overarching, behind-the-scenes villain of the entire Destiny 2 experience. From the beginning all the way up until right now. This whole next expansion is about you going to face her.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'll tell you what. I have fallen off of that game really hard. I've used... Because this season... So, Destiny's been split into seasons like any other game that is right now.
Yeah.
So, this season has been extended by 4 months because Witch Queen was supposed to come out in August. No, September. Witch King was supposed to come out in September or October. But they got pushed back because of COVID.
I remember the big announcement for this, and you were just going bananas over it. Like, I think... Yeah, we talked about it. It was right before our little hiatus back in Q4.
Yeah. So, I'm excited. They're bringing a bunch of new things into it. There's like a weapon crafting system that they briefly touched on, which is brand new to the thing, which comes with a weapon called the glaive, which is like a sword on a stick. But yeah, it's more the same. It's more Destiny.
Well, Destiny's
toxic ass fan base.
I was gonna say Destiny is a Bungie property, which immediately makes me think of the old school Halo, right? Not today's Halo, but and all I've heard about is the toxic online environment. At the same time, I've also heard it's a really fun, awesome game, mostly from you.
It's great,
but there's that balance, right? There's that balance of like, do you want to participate in the community or do you want to just play the game and get through the game?
Let me tell you something about the community. The community's toxic, but it's not like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty,
Dota.
Dota,
yeah.
Fortnite. It's not nearly as toxic as any of those.
Oh yeah, Fortnite is just trash bag. So much so, I'm not going to name names for anybody that watches this show, but so much so that people are like, yeah, I have to remind my kid when they come off from playing Fortnite that they're not playing Fortnite anymore. And the way they're talking is not going to be tolerated.
If I ever had a kid talk to me, bro, no kids for me, but if I ever get approached by a child in public that says like some shit from Fortnite or is like you're trash or is like all that stuff, I'm slapping that kid. I'm
gonna mush children.
Sidebar.
I want to mush children.
You remember you were in the car with me is when we worked at the Apple store. When we were driving down the street and this kid walked in front of us and flipped us both off.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
And had his mom in front of him and shit. And like you and I both rolled down our windows and started yelling at that kid.
Yeah, he was like, "What are you gonna do?" We're like, "I'm gonna come out there and whoop you, bro. Your mom's gonna thank both of us. Like, she's gonna high five us when we're done."
That was awesome. I remember that.
Little monsters. Yeah. I'm not, what was it? I think it's Chris Tucker. No, reverse that. Chris Rock has a comedy special. He does, his whole joke is like, "I'll never hit a kid, but I will shake the shit out of one." Now, these are jokes, folks. These are jokes. Don't cancel us. We're not only on episode 28. We're not quite there yet. But no, I got to agree with you. Like, I'm excited about what's happening with Destiny 2, and as far as like the continuation of the story, I hope that the gameplay is good, and I hope it's been worth the wait. Honestly, when you get an extra quarter of the year, or at least like 6 months, it's got to be something that's like all the bugs are massaged out. Like, hopefully they've been sitting there like waiting to just flip the switch and just like flip it.
I guarantee you the launch is going to be a shit show.
Oh, really?
Every single Destiny launch is a shit show.
Damn.
And like, look, Bungie has done a really great job through this drought between seasons and expansions of bringing things that are meaningful. Like, they had their whole 30th anniversary event that came out in December. That was awesome. They've done a lot of good things, and I would say Bungie is really known for engaging with the community, whether the community likes it or not. I would say the Bungie community is just like that Whitney Houston song. What have you done for me lately?
I will always love you.
What have you done for me lately?
Oh, okay, so that's a different song.
Because the Destiny community is always, what have you done for me lately? It's like, hey, we're doing this really cool thing. Yeah, but like, what about this thing?
Right.
Or, hey, we're doing this really cool thing, but like, what about Shatter Dive? Hey, we nerfed Shatter Dive, but like, what about Dawn Blade? Well, hey, we nerfed Dawn Blade, but what about Vault Space? And like, if I had to be the product manager there, like, I would literally, you wouldn't let me talk to the community.
But I say, imagine being the community manager.
I'd be telling people,
just social
community
people.
Managers. The community managers are incredible. Cosmo and DMG, like, they are they're great, and they're super engaged in their community. They like just let shit roll off the chest. Like, DMG can get a little spicy sometimes, and I'm here for it when he's like telling somebody to fuck off, but like not telling somebody to fuck off in a very politically correct way. I'm like, yep, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Because if it were me,
great.
The first person that came up to me that was like, your game is trash, I'd be like, don't fucking play it. Go find a new game.
Click. Banned for life. You're gone. Oh, is it trash now? Because you're banned. And then finally, I think I'm going to flip back a couple of slides here. There we go. Elden Ring. We talked about it last week. This is definitely, I think, the bigger hitter quitter of the month. It comes out towards the end of the month, right? It's like the last couple of days, I think. It's like the 24th or something like that. Yeah. I mean, it's going to mush. It's going to mush everything.
The one thing that
month
will keep me into Elden Ring is the fact that it's Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I think George R.R. Martin's writing is, and you can put me on quote here, is way overrated.
This is going on TikTok.
Books
emotional
are boring
damage.
As fuck. He's got some kind of an Oedipus complex, or something going on, because the amount of incest in those books is insane.
I think this is like, I have a theory about this kind of stuff. It's like when you see relatively unknown people, and they have a show that really becomes a hit. Like the next season or two, they kind of gain some weight, or like you hear about like just horrible things about them. And you're like, man, I'm really disappointed. You know, my thing with George R. Martin is like, I think secretly brilliant, right? Not unsecretly, publicly genius, secretly nerd person who has gained a shit ton of like mainstream fandom, and because of that he might just be a little cocky, and I think he's just
a little bit.
I think he's just ready to like call it quits. He's like, I'm going out on top, I'm out, bye-bye, I'm never gonna finish that last book, I'm donezo here.
I watched the first season of Wheel of Time, and I know everybody that has read those books hates that show.
However, is it really that bad off in the show?
I love the show.
Damn.
You know why? Because the first episode, Jaime and Cersei Lannister aren't fucking in a a tower. And I'm like,
I'm sitting here going like, oh, is it because of the giant werewolf people? And you're like, nope, I'm gonna go back to the incest route. Like,
like
there's no Oedipal
it's
complex.
not shoved down my throat. Listen, the Lord of the Rings did it for 3 fucking movies at 4 hours apiece and kept me entertained without having to have anybody have sex. So like,
that's the second time Lord of the Rings has come up this week. Man.
Dude, I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
And both times it came up, it didn't have incest in it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Crazy. Literally, like, George R. Martin is like that guy who like watches like fake snuff films and does shit for like shock value.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like The Red Wedding, shock value. The Mountain and the Red Viper, shock value. Let's see. The Night King shit, shock value. Literally every Ned Stark. Oh my god, I forgot Ned Stark right in the beginning of the show.
I feel like he does come from the school of like, coincidence should never get you out of trouble. Coincidence should only get you into more trouble. Like, and that's a very like, I think that's one of the foundations of Pixar films is like, oh, what a coincidence, we're now fucked. You know, like any Pixar show or movie, excuse me, it's like that. I haven't seen Encanto all the way through.
I need to watch it.
But all I know is I'm sure there's going to be one moment where it's like, fuck, you know.
And Abuela is coming to take my Hispanic card and being like, yo, you haven't watched Encanto yet?
Oh,
like, what's wrong with you?
Let me tell you. I know my other half, who does not speak a lick of Spanish or read Spanish or understand any of it, has watched it way more than I have this past several days. But I can tell you that we don't talk about Bruno. No. Because it's been on in the background this entire freaking time. We don't talk about Bruno, no. But I can't wait to watch the whole thing. I have no clue what's going on. I even love the fact that, spoiler alert, I'm not going to say anything about Bruno other than that song and a color associated with Bruno. There's a Disney green. I'm sure you've heard of this, Disney green, Disney blue, right?
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, in Disney World or Disneyland, there's a Disney blue that's painted on the back of buildings in the distance, so that when you look up at, say, at the skyline of a park you're in, you don't notice that you see the back of a building from another park. So it's painted this Disney blue to help you miss it in the skyline. The Disney green is painted on objects that they want you to ignore. Doors that are only for use for employees. Whenever they put up any kind of like scaffolding around bushes or whatever that need to be pruned and bruned or whatever. So, but evidently Bruno is constantly wearing this Disney green Pantone, which helps you forget and miss him entirely.
And I feel bad because I just shit on George R. Martin for 5 minutes.
Well, now I got to take the spoiler banners down. So, spoiler alert.
I apologize for shitting on George R. Martin.
George R. Martin's trash, and now they are off. Spoiler banner's gone.
The dragons look fucking cool in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's the one redeeming quality for me.
Yeah, something that George R. Martin had nothing to do with.
What's the guy's name? The guy from John Wick 3. Braun?
Oh, yeah.
That guy, cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, big fan of him.
The guy who was standing up for Peter Dinklage. Yeah.